The music world held its breath. Because what happened at the Grammys that night wasn't just about trophies. It was about a moment that made everyone stop scrolling, stop talking, and just watch. But before we get to that moment, let me take you inside the arena where it all went down. The Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. 18,000 seats packed with the biggest names in music. Cameras positioned at every angle. Lights dimmed. The energy so thick you could cut it with a knife. This wasn't just another awards show. This was the night where careers would change, where history would be made, and where one performance would leave the entire world speechless. And it started the second Trevor Noah walked onto that stage. Now Trevor's hosted before. He knows the drill. But this time, something was different. The room felt electric. Because everyone knew what was coming. The nominations had been announced months ago, and the debates had been raging ever since. Who deserved Album of the Year? Would Beyoncé finally break the record? Could Taylor Swift pull off another win? And what about the newcomers who came out of nowhere to shake up every category? Trevor opened with a joke about how artificial intelligence had tried to write his monologue. The crowd laughed. But then he said something that made everyone lean forward. He said, "Tonight we're not just celebrating music. We're celebrating the fact that in a world of algorithms and playlists, real human emotion still wins." That line hit different. Because 2025 had been the year of AI-generated everything. Music, art, videos. But the Grammys? This was about the real thing. The blood, sweat, and tears that go into creating something that moves people. The first award of the night was Best New Artist. Always a big one. Always controversial. This year, the nominees included a 20-year-old from Nigeria who'd blown up on TikTok with a song about home. Indie rock band from Iceland that nobody saw coming. A country singer from Texas who wrote every song in her truck. A R&B artist from Atlanta whose voice could make you cry in 3 seconds flat. And a rapper from London whose debut album went platinum without a single radio play. The envelope opened. The winner? The kid from Nigeria. His name is Oluwaseun, but everyone calls him Son. He walked up to that stage looking like he couldn't believe it was real. His hands were shaking. He grabbed the microphone and said, "I made this music in my bedroom with equipment I saved 2 years to buy. This is for every kid who thinks they're too far from the dream." The arena erupted. But that was just the beginning. Because the energy in that room was building towards something. You could feel it. Every performance, every speech, every moment was leading somewhere. And the crowd knew it. Miley Cyrus took the stage next for a tribute performance. Now here's the thing about Miley. She's been in this industry since she was a kid. She's reinvented herself more times than most artists release albums. But that night, she performed a stripped-down version of a classic rock song from the 70s, and it reminded everyone why live music matters. No auto-tune. No backing track. Just her voice, a guitar, and 18,000 people who forgot to breathe. When she finished, the standing ovation lasted 90 seconds. 90 full seconds of applause. Because in a world of perfect studio recordings, she reminded everyone what raw talent looks like. Then came the category everyone was watching. Song of the Year. This award goes to the songwriters, not the performers. And the nominees were stacked. A ballad about loss that had become a funeral staple. A protest song that dominated the summer. A love song so catchy it had been stuck in everyone's head for 8 months. A collaboration between a pop star and a jazz legend that shouldn't have worked but somehow did. And a song written by a guy who'd never won a Grammy, never even been nominated until this year. The presenters took their time opening the envelope. The camera cut to each nominee. You could see the hope, the nervousness, the years of work condensed into this single moment. The winner? The guy who'd never been nominated before. His name is Marcus Chin and he wrote the protest song. When they called his name he didn't move. He literally sat there for 5 seconds like he didn't hear it. His wife had to push him out of his seat. He walked up to that stage, took the trophy and said, "I wrote this song because I was angry. I didn't think anyone would listen. Thank you for proving me wrong." Simple words. Powerful moment. Because that's what the Grammys are supposed to be about. Recognizing art that matters. But we still hadn't reached the moment. The one everyone would be talking about for weeks. Halfway through the show they announced a special performance. No details. No explanation. Just, "Please welcome to the stage a very special collaboration." The lights went dark. A single spotlight hit center stage. And out walked someone nobody expected to see. Prince's hologram? Oh. A surprise reunion? Not quite. It was Lauryn Hill. And she hadn't performed at the Grammys in over a decade. The crowd lost their minds. Because Lauryn Hill is a legend. But she's also notoriously private, notoriously selective about when and where she performs. For her to be there on that stage meant something big was about to happen. She stood there in silence for a moment. Then she started singing. No introduction. No fanfare. Just her voice cutting through the arena like a knife. She performed a medley of her classics, but then something shifted. The music changed. A new beat dropped. And out walked 6 of the biggest female artists in the industry right now. Beyoncé, Taylor Swift, SZA, Billie Eilish, Dua Lipa, Olivia Rodrigo. 7 generations of female excellence on one stage. Each taking a verse. Each bringing their own style. Each honoring the woman who paved the way. The song they performed? An original piece written specifically for this moment about the evolution of women in music. About the struggles. The triumphs. The barriers broken and the ones still standing. By the time they finished, there wasn't a dry eye in the arena. Celebrities were crying. The camera caught Oprah wiping tears. Even the sound engineers in the back were emotional. Because this wasn't just a performance. This was a statement. A reminder of how far we've come and how far we still have to go. And that's when things got even more interesting. Because after that performance, the energy completely shifted. The rest of the show felt different. More urgent. More important. Record of the year was next. This is the big one. Not the song. Not the album. The recording itself. The production. The performance. Everything that makes a record what it is. The nominees included a hip-hop track that redefined what rap could sound like. A pop song with production so innovative that other artists were already copying it. A country crossover that brought 2 worlds together. An indie track that went viral for all the right reasons. And a dance anthem that became the soundtrack of last summer. The winner? The hip-hop track. An artist named Kendrick Lamar walking up for what felt like the 100th time, but this one hit different. Because the song wasn't just good. It was important. It talked about things people don't want to talk about. Mental health. Generational trauma. The price of success. And it did it over a beat that made you move while making you think. Kendrick got to the microphone and said something nobody expected. He said, "I almost didn't release this song. I thought it was too personal. Too dark. Too real. But my daughter told me, Dad, someone needs to hear this. So this award isn't mine. It's hers." The camera cut to a 12-year-old girl in the audience crying happy tears. Her dad just won a Grammy and gave her the credit. That's the kind of moment you can't script. But we still weren't done. Because Album of the Year was coming. The biggest award of the night. And this year, the race was closer than it had ever been. 5 albums. 5 completely different styles. 5 artists who represented different eras, different sounds, different stories. Taylor Swift with an album about reclaiming her narrative. Beyoncé with a concept album about Black cowboy culture. Bad Bunny with a record that brought reggaeton to new heights. A rock album from an unexpected comeback. And a jazz fusion project that critics called the most innovative album in 20 years. The tension in the room was unreal. Because any of these could win. Any of these deserved to win. The presenters milked the moment. They talked about each album. They showed clips. They built the suspense until it was almost unbearable. And then they opened the envelope. The winner, Beyoncé, for Cowboy Carter. The arena exploded. Confetti fell from the ceiling. The music swelled. And Beyoncé walked to that stage with her family, her collaborators, her team. Everyone who helped make that album what it was. And when she got to the microphone, she didn't give a typical acceptance speech. She said, "This album was rejected by country radio stations. I was told it wasn't country enough. Wasn't authentic enough. Wasn't what people wanted to hear. But I made it anyway. Because art isn't about fitting into boxes. It's about breaking them." Then she paused. The room went silent. And she said, "This is my 5th Album of the Year nomination. And my first win in this category. That means something. It means we're changing. It means we're growing. And it means the next generation won't have to wait as long as I did." With that win, Beyoncé broke the record for most Grammy wins ever. 33 total. More than any artist in history. Male or female. Any genre. Any era. She became the most decorated Grammy artist of all time right there on that stage. But here's what made it even more special. After her speech, as she walked off stage, she stopped, turned around, and brought up every female nominee in the Album of the Year category. Taylor Swift, the indie artist, the rock comeback queen, all of them, standing together, holding their awards or just standing in solidarity. Because this wasn't about competition. It was about elevation. That image. Those women on that stage together. That's what people will remember from the Grammys 2026. But the night wasn't over. There were still performances. Still speeches. Still moments that mattered. Billie Eilish won Best Pop Vocal Album and dedicated it to her brother Phineas, her creative partner since day one. Peso Pluma won Best Música Mexicana Album and performed a song that had the entire arena on their feet. The In Memoriam segment honored legends we lost, including a heartbreaking tribute to a young artist gone too soon. And then, as the show was winding down, they did something unexpected. They brought out a group of music teachers. 20 of them from across the country. Public school teachers who keep music programs alive with no budget, no resources, and no recognition. And they announced a new Grammy initiative to fund music education in underserved communities. $100 million over 5 years. The teachers cried. The audience stood and applauded for minutes. Because this was bigger than awards. This was about ensuring that the next generation of artists even has a chance to dream. As the show ended and the lights came up, something felt different. This wasn't just another awards show where rich people gave each other trophies. This was a moment. A cultural moment. A reminder that music still has the power to unite us, to challenge us, to change us. The Grammys 2026 will be remembered for Beyoncé's historic win. For that incredible all-female performance. For speeches that mattered and moments that moved people. But more than that, it'll be remembered as the night the music industry looked at itself and decided to be better. To be more inclusive. To be more honest. To be more human. Because at the end of the day, that's what music is. It's the most human thing we do. It's how we express what words alone can't say. It's how we connect across differences. It's how we remember who we are and imagine who we could be. And on February 2, 2026, in Los Angeles, in an arena filled with artists and dreamers and believers, that truth was impossible to ignore. The Grammys reminded us why music matters. Why art matters. Why stories matter. And why, no matter how much technology changes the world, nothing will ever replace the power of a human being standing on a stage, pouring their heart out and hoping someone out there understands. That's what happened at the Grammys 2026. That's the story. And that's why music will always win.